Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing by the end of this video. I am on lunch break right now in my car, and I decided to do a video today responding to my most common argument for Amway in the comments, because someone actually recently left me a comment. I don't mean to spread hate or any sort of drama, but I did want to address this type of argument against my Amway videos, because I think that this person pretty much summed up the generic script of what people say in defense of Amway. For those of you who don't know, I would encourage you to check out my other videos telling my story fully, but I was in Amway LTD, Leadership Team Development is the subgroup, for 2.5 years. I lost nearly $20,000 and didn't make any money in the business, even though they said that on a 2 to 5 year plan, I would be able to make a full-time income. I lost a lot of friends and was socially isolated, and eventually I ended up leaving because I started having some really serious health problems due to the stress of keeping on pushing, trying to build my business. So I react to Amway LTD audios. Specifically within their system, I react to audio tapes from them that are instructive or motivational for their business owners, and I react to them and I respond to them in actually explaining the underlying message in those audios. So on one of my videos, someone left a comment. Again, please don't spread hate or drama to this person if you find this comment. But the comment said, "Man, Greg Francis," who was the speaker, "speaks some truth. You suffer from serious victim mentality. The only way you will ever get rid of that life-sucking view is to come to terms with the fact that your past doesn't have to affect your future. You are choosing it to. This is proof right here. You didn't try and make the business work for you, and now you create videos blaming your failure to win in the business on the business. The time you put in to create these videos, you could have used to build a business and become a success story and empower others that can relate to your story. I hope you come to terms with your story, move on, and do good things with your life, and see success in whatever you pursue. Maybe it was who you were in business." I think they meant who you were in business with, but maybe it was who you were in business, but nothing you say relates to my experience in the business. Quit with the blame game, girl." And I think that this really accurately sums up what a lot of Amway entrepreneurs respond to my videos with, as far as well, you're just playing the blame game. You failed in the business and now you're just bitter and you're spending all your time blaming other people for your failure in the business, and you just need to stop being a loser. Obviously you didn't have the winning mentality, or you didn't have business owner mentality, otherwise you would have become successful in the business. And that is the typical script that is fed to business owners in Amway, at least in Amway LTD, that if you quit or if you don't make money in the business, it's because of your failure, it's your fault, that you didn't stick it out, you weren't a winner. And I think that that's one of the main reasons that a lot of people who even want to quit the business choose not to quit, because they are they're deterred from quitting because of how much negative, I guess, how much bashing people in the business do of people who have quit. Oh my gosh, they were just such losers, or, oh, well, I guess that they'll just work a job for 40 years and they'll just waste their life away, and I guess they don't really prioritize their family, or they don't prioritize the important things, and they just want to be lazy losers who are okay with failure. So I wanted to just address some of the things that this person said in the comments by explaining exactly what I have against Amway, specifically Amway Ltd, and other groups like it, Worldwide Group, which is WWG, Worldwide Dream Builders, WWDB, Brit Worldwide, BWW. A lot of these kinds of groups have a lot of the same mentality because they all stem from the same upline who had that mentality and duplicated throughout their entire business. The first thing that I have to say is, if you are in one of these groups and you use deceptive marketing or recruitment, I have an issue with that. And I will link in the description videos that kind of prove all of these points as I go, so that you can go back and actually check out their audios and how I explain how they teach this mentality. But their deceptive marketing and recruitment tactics are very predatory, and they specifically avoid saying the name Amway in their pitch. They do an interview process that takes you through this series of interviews without ever telling you what the business is, so that by the time that you actually learn what they do, you've already built enough of a friendship and rapport with these people that you trust them. And oftentimes they use your vulnerabilities, they use like your weaknesses specifically to prey on those points, so that you join the business and end up giving money to the business so that they can make money off of you. And that leads me to my second point, which is that many people in Amway, specifically in these groups, run their business as an illegal pyramid scheme. Even though Amway does provide products, the emphasis is rarely on actual customer sales, but rather the emphasis is on buying your own products and being your own best customer and having a solid personal circle, and then duplicating that to your downline. So in that way, it is run as an illegal pyramid scheme, because people are actually paying money to be involved in this, paying money for purchasing their products. There actually isn't any customers or, product or service given to legitimate customers, but rather there's a heavy requirement for the business owners to purchase their own products. And I have a problem with that. If your upline they don't pressure you to purchase your own products, and you don't have a requirement, and you're not treated any differently because you don't purchase your own products, then maybe this doesn't apply to you. However, what I'm talking about, and I have actually reacted to a lot of audios of people who actually state, you don't sell your products, you just buy them. You don't have to find customers, you just purchase your own products. That's how you take care of volume. And these are not my words. These aren't just my upline platinums. This is like from LTD in their audio system as something that they sell to their business owners as motivational or instructional information. That is their mentality, is to purchase your own products, and therefore it is an illegal pyramid scheme. It is run as an illegal pyramid scheme very, very often. The only way that I can see Amway being a legitimate business is if the majority of your time is spent in actually making customer sales. Unfortunately, Amway's products are so overpriced, and often people don't actually want to purchase those kind of products at that high of a markup, that it's pretty darn near impossible to actually make qualified customer sales in order to actually uphold that kind of income expectation that they want you to think that you can achieve. They want you to think that you can retire off of this kind of income, but the only way you can retire off of it and have passive income is if you recruit enough people and have them doing those volume standards. Often, to stabilize their business, they don't want to actually trust that their business owners, their downline, will actually make customer sales. So they put the expectation and the pressure on their business owners to purchase their own products. And that's how they're able to rely on their income, their passive income from the businesses, because it's a very stable pyramid scheme. And the third reason why I really don't like Amway, or specifically Amway Ltd, and it has nothing to do with my personal vendetta against my specific upline. In fact, I keep a lot of my personal issues with my personal upline off camera. I actually haven't told my channel like half the story with my own personal upline. But the audios that I've reacted to in regards to like the rules of the cult is because it actually has a very manipulative and isolating culture within the business group. So if your upline doesn't run it like this, then maybe this doesn't apply to you either. However, I've reacted to an audio that is being used as a training tool for other LTD members and other Worldwide Dream Builder members and all of that, that they specifically have a culture of positivity to a point of being dishonest, that you're not allowed to talk about anything personal, anything that might be negative in your life. You're not allowed to actually open up or even exchange contact information with Crossline, or even like other people's upline, which is technically Crossline. So you're not allowed to inappropriately Crossline. You have to ask permission from your upline in order to spend any time with other people within the business, unless they are your downline or your upline. So there's a lot of strict rules within these kinds of groups. This isn't an Amway thing, but it's those subgroups that push that kind of culture, so that you have a direct way of being able to manipulate and control the members in the group by having a very strict line of communication that you're not allowed to break. So in that way, and actually it's just funny because it's just ironic, I guess, that this is like the video that I reacted to within the rules of the cult is where they left this comment. And it's like, do you not even hear what this audio is saying? Do you not even hear the immense amount of control that uplines have even within married couples, and controlling the information that a husband can pass on to his wife, and that the wife is not expected to be able to deal with anything negative or, make any personal decisions or family decisions at all, because it's all decided between the husband and his upline. And so I have a lot of issues with that. And I was not married. I am not married. So that didn't even really apply to me within the business, but I have a serious issue with the amount of control and manipulation that the upline has, and how much involvement they require or like really push over families and married couples making decisions for their families. The fourth thing that I have an issue with regards to Amway Ltd and a lot of the other groups is that there's a lot of religious manipulation and abuse. And this is seen over and over again, not even in their Sunday morning services when they have like full-on church services, but even within the language of their main talks, they put so much weight on what they're doing for business, building their businesses, and claiming that this is what God's will is and this is how they glorify God. And there's so much manipulation and religious, I don't even know, vocabulary is hard, but there's just so much religious language that it's difficult to separate business from personal spiritual decisions, and it's hard to separate what they're telling you because that's within their own financial best interest versus the truth or the actual solid doctrine of the Christian religion. And it becomes really manipulative and toxic and often cult-like. I mean, I was baptized by my Upline Platinum in a hotel pool in the basement of the hotel that we did our meetings at. So there's just so much that goes on with that. And this has nothing to do with my own personal failure to build an Amway business. This is why I'm talking about this. The fifth thing that I have against Amway is the unhealthy and socially isolating expectations. And this is specifically to the outside world. Anybody who's not related to the business, they basically tell you to snip everybody out of your life, your family, your friends. Anyone who won't join you in the business is basically a loser or has that loser mentality. And therefore you shouldn't associate with them because they are negative influences. And not only that, but they have a lot of expectations physically of staying up late. And this references a lot of audios that just make references to 2 a.m., driving back really late, driving tired, falling asleep behind the wheel. I mean, I crashed, I totaled a car, and it could have ended much, much worse. Save for like a few lucky, very fortunate feet that I missed a telephone pole. But there's a lot of physical pressure to push yourself. I mean, I donated plasma for 2 years to afford my products, and that was so physically demanding on me. And this is the kind of stuff that maybe it is just within my group. However, within LTD's system, you see over and over and over again, they make reference to the kind of physical sacrifices and social sacrifices that they had to make in order to pursue their dreams in business. The sixth thing that I have against Amway Ltd specifically, and the other tools, like the other programs, is their tool scam. And I actually didn't learn about the tool scam or actually understand what that was until after I left Amway. And remember, I was in there for 2.5 years. I didn't realize that the majority of the people who spoke in Amway Ltd's audios were actually getting paid a substantial amount from LTD to make those audios. So when they were pushing their own books and their own audios, and you're only supposed to buy books from LTD to keep the money in the family, you were actually putting money pretty much directly into your upline's pockets. And within the business, even if I had known that, I probably wouldn't have even had a problem with that. However, the fact that they didn't even disclose that is very suspicious. Not to mention the fact that they do really mark up or charge full price for books that you could easily get at a half price bookstore. And it's just shady. It's just shady. And I have a problem with that. And the last thing that I have, the last thing that I could think of and jot down in my notebook real quick, that I have against Amway Ltd, and actually specifically Amway as a whole, is that no matter how big the business gets, it will always be structured that the majority of people will fail. And that's not corporate structure. Yeah, you have a lot of people in a corporate setting. You have a lot of people making less money than the person at the top, the CEOs. However, those people are still making money, and they don't have to pay money in order to work there. So that is not a scam. That's not a pyramid scheme. It's not the same. Within Amway, within most all multi-level marketing companies, you do have the top earners who are like the 0.1% or the less than 1% who actually make money in the business. But the vast majority of the people in the pyramid don't actually make back the money that they are investing in their business. So while, yes, I am one of the 99% of the people in Amway who didn't end up making money in the business, and while I am making videos about Amway now, the very fact of the matter is that most of the people who are in Amway will end up in my same situation. The reason I make videos about Amway is to spread awareness and also to spread hope and kind of offer a source of healing in a way for people who have been through the same thing. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I lost a lot being in Amway. It really set me back, thinking about how much time I spent in Amway and the choices that I made that hurt my family, they hurt my friends, and did some irreparable damage to some friendships. To think that I chose not to go back to school because my upline didn't want me to go back to school. I really regret being in Amway. And I know people who have lived to regret a lot more than just that, who have children or marriages who suffered from being in this kind of environment, and from chasing this kind of dream that only less than 1% of people will ever achieve. And so I appreciate the comments, whether you agree with me or not. But with regards to the argument of me just being bitter and wasting my time and why don't I just move on and do something productive with my life, I think I am being pretty darn productive, actually, spreading awareness of this, because I will tell people what your upline won't. I'll tell it to you straight, and I'll give you a full knowledge of what you're getting into. And I think my story has helped to inspire others and to comfort others and to let them know that they're not alone and that their story matters and that they weren't total idiots for falling for the same thing that I fell for, because it could happen to anyone. And, you know, no one is immune to this kind of deception and manipulation. Even the amount of control that I let my upline have over my life. You know, I never really thought I was going to be that type of person to do that or to fall for that. But it could happen to anyone. And I just think it's important to let people know that regardless of how much your upline has injured you or how much you lost chasing this kind of dream, and how even a lot of people's spiritual lives have been hurt from this kind of manipulation, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that there are good things in store for you, that you can use that energy and you can use your resources to pursue a life that you want, and build your dreams on your terms. And I think that message should be spread. It should be shared. And I have absolutely no regrets about making these kinds of videos, exposing Amway, specifically Amway Ltd, and the other groups who participate in this kind of mentality. And I'm very happy with the life that I've chosen. I'm healthier than I've been in a really long time. I'm pursuing my dreams as a health and life coach, and I'm helping other people go through the same kind of health journey that I've started. And I live every single day in love, joy, and peace. And for me, that is meaningful success. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful, and please leave a comment if you want to add to this response, or just echo what I've said. I am always so encouraged when I hear about how much my videos have impacted you, and honestly, I would love to know how significant this kind of content is to you, because I know that there are a lot of people who are affected so negatively by Amway, and specifically by Amway Ltd. So Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I'll see you Sunday for some sort of health content. Or next Wednesday, we'll probably be back with another audio reaction. So, okay, bye.